Welcome to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson, and it is Black History Month. Can y'all hear me now? Can you hear me now?
We hear you. We hear you.
We have living Black history in the building with us, none other than Black Radio Hall of Famer himself, Melvin Cookin Jones.
Yes. Melvin John Paul Oscar Anderson Jones Jr., but you can call me Cookin.
How you come behind that?
We got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about Black history. Of course, we're going to be talking about some other things that's in the news. We're going to be talking about Donald Reagan, Pastor Donald Reagan, who says it is against God for Black men to be married to white women. What? We're going to talk about other things. And so we will be right back. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Run it back and shit. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson, and I am joined with my wonderful co-host, Angelica Jelly Woods, in the building.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited to be Black this month.
You excited to be Black? What about last month? Were you excited?
Sort of.
Let
me not say that because he gonna clip me. He gonna clip me. He gonna swear. The clipbait gonna say a Black girl who doesn't want to be Black and she's from Iowa. That's what the clip gonna say.
That's exactly what
that's
the
what they're gonna say.
Right, right. Has she spent too much time in Iowa?
Whatever.
Right, get it rub off. And welcome back. No, hold on. Nice try.
He don't get no welcome.
Angelica. You know, DJ Kojak called in with the sniffles last episode,
Acting
right?
like us, this us.
Right. But then I was over there. I was out there at the October London concert, and I turned around and I saw DJ Kojak. You're right. But he was supposed to be sick. DJ Kojak back from the sniffles. What's happening?
Back from the sniffles, man. There's something about that Nashville air. I heard everything up, man, and I'm 100%. I'm ready to roll. Hey, hold on, though. I heard Angelica tried to get me fired, though.
Man, Angelica tried to replace you within 5 minutes of the new dude.
No, I need this little money.
You can't get comfortable. See, that's a life lesson. You can never get comfortable. You have to stay on your P's and Q's. You can be.
Angelica said it's about workforce development.
Right.
I like that. Workforce development. Melvin Cookin Jones in the building. Melvin Cookin Jones, what you doing when they call in sick?
Turn it up.
What you doing when they call in sick?
Well, if you're going to see October London, I'll give them a pass.
You give them a pass?
Because Snoop Dogg may be in the house. Snoop Dogg may be in the house. You know, that's Snoop's artist. Yeah, that's Snoop's artist.
It is Snoop's
He's
artist.
the new Marvin Gaye.
He is.
Yeah, bad, man.
Hey, the boy's bad. The boy's bad live too, man.
Yeah,
The boy,
yeah.
Hey, real talk, man. He gave a show like a throwback show.
Wow.
You know, came out in the suit,
Wow.
tie. You know, did his thing right, Kojak?
Man, I'm talking about on point from the beginning to the end.
Wow.
Yeah, very good show.
Crowd participation, man. He has it all.
And what's interesting too is about that night is the fact that October London had his show and Drake was in the same city, and October London still had a good crowd in there.
And Patti LaBelle.
And Patti LaBelle.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Now, what does that say about the Nashville market versus the Memphis market, man? 3 major shows, right, that's happening all at the same time and all being supported.
And they all did well.
Right, so we need to do something different. You know,
They have a venue where they can go to. That's a big thing, too.
Well, venues and red tape and crime and, you know, a lot of it, you know, a lot of it all folds into the same, right?
Yes.
One entity controlling all the venues.
Right.
That's a problem as
Problematic.
well.
Yeah. So look, Melvin Cookin Jones and
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
Look, listen, y'all.
Cookin Jones.
I'm honored, honestly. Real talk.
Wow,
you know, I am truly honored, and we got to send a shout out to your lovely wife, Linda, in the
Yes,
building.
please.
First lady.
Jones.
Yeah. Look at her smiling.
Yeah.
Go on, smile. for your
How
hubby,
long
man.
y'all
Go
been
on,
married?
smile.
How long y'all
33
been-
years.
33 years. We talked about this.
Yeah.
What's the secret?
Being real with each other.
Being real with each other.
Yeah.
Tell them
33
again.
years. That's a
33
long
years.
time.
Long
bro.
time.
And you got to have some tolerance for 33 years.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
And grace.
And you know, that was a long time because I came out of rock and roll radio. I came out of R&B, hip hop, and the music business. So you know.
He was rocking and rolling.
Absolutely.
He was rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
All right.
and I lived the lifestyle.
Okay.
But I changed and I met this beautiful lady.
And she is gorgeous, y'all.
We've been together ever since.
Black do not crack. Okay, Black History Month.
I'm trying
Ain't
to tell you.
ain't
We were
nothing cracking
together
over
through
there, okay?
7 years on the road with Hammer. We were together.
Wow. Yeah.
And I would fly her out on the road with us.
Oh man, we got
Because the
Flued
company.
out. We talked about flued out. We talked about flued out last week now.
Hold on.
Now, this was the
flew her.
expectation
Flew her.
of being
No,
flued
no,
out.
that's the word.
We were
flued.
married.
Linda, you got flued out.
We call it flued out.
Flued out.
I
Yeah, flued out now. Okay, now.
Yeah, on my own dime because the company didn't know it.
Right.
Okay.
I'll keep them close,
I
right?
was working for Capitol Records and
Right.
I'd fly her in, put up in the hotel. Then I had to do what I had to do with Hammer and the rest of
Right.
for the show. And then I'd come back and then we'd have our time together.
Man, I'm telling
That's
you,
how we did
Brought
it.
your hand to the beach.
Funny story about Hammer, man. You know, you know Rob Neal.
Yeah.
Rob
Big
Neal.
Rob
Shout
Neal.
out to Rob Neal, man. Good dude, right?
Yeah.
Good brother, right? Rob Neal had Hammer here for it. Rob was doing his conference, right? His radio conference, right?
Okay.
And Rob, you know, that's my guy. Rob didn't promote that one very hard, right? Wasn't many people there.
35 people.
But that's a lot. That's a lot. And so Rob had the black, the new, what do they call themselves? The new Black Panther Party.
Okay.
They were part of the radio conference, and then Hammer was the keynote speaker, right? That was here in Memphis.
Wow.
You remember when Census was open, right? When
Okay.
Census was open?
Okay.
Yeah. And so Hammer came and we were at the Hilton. It was the Adams Mark back then. And so Hammer was the keynote speaker anyway. So my first time meeting Hammer, so I'm there helping Rob and you know all six of the people that was in the audience, you know, listened. And you know, first we listened to the Black Panther Party, then we listened to Hammer, and then we all start walking out. So it's probably about 14 of us, I guess, walking through the lobby of the Adams Mark. And I was telling Hammer, yeah, man, we're walking in front of the little entourage. I said, yeah, man, I'm from Oakland too. He said, oh, yeah. I said, yeah, man, my brother lives in Oakland. His name is Lance. They call him Strip Bone, right? He's like, oh, okay. He said, I know Lance that they call Strip Bone, right? I said, yeah. He said, but he ain't had no other brothers. He had two brothers that lived there, Charles and Leo. I said, yeah, those are my brothers. He said, nah. He done stopped the crowd now. They done bumped into you. He's like, nah, he ain't had no other brothers. I said, yeah, those are my brothers. He said, nah, because his dad, Charles, and his mom, Marion, that's like family to me. I said, yeah, that's my dad and my stepmother. He's like, no, he ain't had no other brothers, right? I said, nah, because I didn't grow up with them, right? I said, but those are my brothers, right? I said, hold on. Now I'm on 12, right? I'm all excited about this, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
I called my brother, right? And get my brother on the phone. I was like, Lance, man, you ain't believe this, man. I'm over here with Hammer, right? He said, oh, you over there with Stan? He called him Stanley.
Okay,
right,
Stanley.
Right. Yeah.
That's
And before I knew it, I shoved the phone to Hammer, right? And they got on the phone, right? And they wasn't saying much.
Wow.
They wasn't saying a whole lot.
Okay,
right?
okay.
And then I'm still on 12 when I get the phone back, right? I'm like, yeah, man. So. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you about it, bro. I said, oh, okay. One of them Kodak want to get away.
Okay. Okay.
Right. But what it was Hammer grew up in my father's house.
Wow.
Literally.
Wow.
Small world. You can't make this up, right?
Wow.
Hammer literally grew up in my father's house.
That's awesome.
He was the neighbor kid that lived in my father's house, right?
Wow.
Ate dinner over there almost every night.
Wow.
My older brothers, taught them how to fight and made them tough, right? And Hammer could fight.
Yeah, for sure.
Hammer.
I know the Burrell brothers,
Right.
man. All the brothers rough.
Yeah. And they come from
A lot of people.
too.
A lot of
They
people
come from
think
that life.
a lot of people think he was weak, man.
That's because his music was commercial.
Yeah,
And there's a reason why he had no problems with Suge Knight.
Absolutely.
Being over there at Death Row because they come from the same family.
Respect, very much.
Same
So.
family.
People don't know that very much.
People
so.
don't know that. Yeah.
Hammer wasn't
history.
Hammer wasn't to be messed with.
Yeah, Hammer will whoop your ass.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Hey, but real talk, my brother Lance, shout out to my brother Lance in Oakland. He used to tell me, man, he'd say our older brother was a hog, man. He was a Marine too, right?
Right.
And he used to make them fight to get out of the room.
Wow.
Right. And when they were younger, right, he literally made them fight. When my brother, this is how the story goes. When my brother Charles would come into the room, he shut the door behind him, right, and be like, y'all want to get out here, y'all gonna fight. They'd be in the corner crying, literally, right?
Wow.
They're like, I don't want to. And look, he's like, y'all better shut up and come on. And look, they had to go ahead. That's how they got tough to where they could defend themselves anywhere, anytime, because they had the worst of it.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Isn't that crazy though?
Yes, it is. Small world. Small world. Yes, it is.
Yeah, man. So Brother Jones, man, we go way back.
Yes, we do.
We go
Yes,
back,
we do.
and then it's what's funny is, I know Mike Kelly. Shout out to Mike Kelly.
Mike Kelly.
Right?
Yeah.
Me and Mike go back, but it was two different paths. I didn't even know they were related.
Right,
But
right.
I've been knowing Mike for
Mike's been with Motown,
right?
Been with Arista,
right?
Been with Elektra,
yep.
Warner Brothers, Atlantic, and a number of record labels.
Yeah. Mike, and good dude too, man.
Yes, he is.
I used to be all up in New York with Mike Kelly, man.
Yeah.
Mike, and he was always accommodating. Anytime
went to Carver High School here in Memphis.
Went to Carver High School.
He came here with me.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Doing big things, still doing big things.
Yes, he is.
Still killing the game, man. Good brother, man.
And his daughter, Kiona Michelle, is now the national rhythmic director at Warner Brothers out of New York office.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's the national rhythmic director. They handle mostly the crossover artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's
That's
awesome.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Mike, great dude. Just good spirit, good energy, just a good dude. Period, man. Yeah, man. So look, before we jump all the way in there's this thing that's happening, that's trending. This guy, not Ronald Reagan, but Donnie Reagan,
Wow.
passed out of Tennessee, right? And he said. He would, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said he would never, ever, Angelica, marry a black man to a white woman, or a white woman, or a black woman to a white male. He said he'll quit the church first before he did it, right? And so, Angelica, I was trying to see, what you thought about what you thought about that. What you think about Pastor Donald Reagan?
I told you earlier, because we do pre-plan these podcasts. I might be surprised. Okay. I feel like he said a lot of things that a lot of pastors don't want to say. They feel that way. They feel like they shouldn't be biracial relationships, and he just so happened to speak on his racism, because that's definitely racism.
He
racist.
That's what it is.
He's racist.
But our parents were like that. My mother wouldn't want me. She didn't want me to bring a white girl home.
Yeah, they say we can't.
Don't look at me like that, Kojak.
If she can't bring a comb, don't bring her home. That's just what they say.
She can't bring a what?
Comb. Because you can't use a comb, don't bring her home.
Yeah.
You never heard that?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that one. And you
Never?
were in Iowa hearing that.
A comb.
Yeah.
A comb.
Hey, Pastor Jones, let me tell you about Kojak.
Okay.
So Kojak is a verb.
Okay.
So Kojak will Kojak you, right? He will never, ever give you a straight answer, right? So I'm going to ask him, Kojak, what about Pastor Donald Reagan? Not Ronald Reagan, but Donald Reagan.
Wow.
Well, this guy, you got to take him for face value. And
we're about to get
I
Kojak.
agree with Angelica.
We're about to get Kojak.
I'm going to sleep.
I agree with Angelica. He's extremely racist. This guy is extremely racist. We all know that. But kind of like Donald Trump, he put it out there. He lay it out there.
Now, that's
and
a
let
good thing.
you know.
That's a good thing, I think.
And you're right. That's a good thing. It's best to know what you're dealing with.
Yep.
It's the snakes that you gotta. You really gotta.
Okay, now
attention.
Kojak, this might be. You starting Black History Month with some.
With some bang.
That by the time all this come Black History Month for you to make some sense.
I tell people this
do it
though.
for my people.
And I tell people this though. I'd rather have a straight up, uncut,
Thank you.
Racist.
truthful racist
Yeah.
than to have one that's hiding behind the veil and being a closet racist any day, any day.
Smiling in your face. Well, I'm going to put a word on it.
Come on, put a word on it.
Galatians 3:28.
Come on.
There's no longer Jew or Greek. There's no longer slave or free. There's no longer male and female. For all of you are one in Christ Jesus.
Okay.
And so we are all one in Christ.
Right.
Amen. We are.
Okay.
And Romans 10:13 said, "Whosoever will, let him come."
Right. Okay.
And so we are one. We may be different colors, different nationalities, but we are one.
Right.
Acts chapter 17, verse 26 says, "We are all one blood."
All right.
And he is the reason that we move and breathe and have our being. Talking about God.
Right.
God of the universe, not a black God, not a white God, but a universal God.
Right.
And he says that he loves all of us. And so we got to move past this racial thing.
We got to move past it, right?
I'm not into that racial thing, not into gender thing, not male or female. You know, my wife been preaching ever since we had a church 20 years.
Right.
She don't have to push to preach because she preaches as much as she want to preach, as the Lord leads her to preach. You understand what I'm saying? So I've never been into that. I'm for everybody eating.
Right.
I'm for everybody making some of this money. I'm for everybody grinding and shining and going up together. I'm for everybody making it.
Man, let the church say it,
That's
man.
what I'm for.
I want y'all to note something. His voice, the radio voice,
I felt that.
and that pastor voice was two different voices, okay? Rewind it back. Yes, there was two different voices. Y'all didn't peep it, but okay. Y'all didn't know it. Yes,
Hey, look, but you know, you're saying that now, you know, but you know, you hadn't always been a reverend, and so I want to know how you would have felt about Tracy bringing one home back in the day. Don't answer that yet. We'll be right back. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Look,
It wasn't me and you together, supposed to be forever. Plus we were lit together, pop out matching Gucci sweater. It wasn't thinking, telling, know when they see us, they jelly. I took you through some but you still got me through whatever. I can't answer why you won't leave. You think he better than me? No, I can't be too scream. Can't find no better than me. Mama told me, say what I love. My bro say, let her just be. I can't keep going back and forth. I should just let her go free. Cause if you stay, then go on and on and on. Trying to tell me I'm wrong, cause I did not make it home.
I'm CJ Davis, Memphis Chief of Police, and you are watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson, and I got my lovely, lovely co-host in the building, Angelica Jelly Woods.
hello. I got my pastor voice.
I wish I could hoop. I wish I could hoop.
You can hoop.
I'd be hooping, boy.
I can't hoop. Catch that. DJ Kojak in the building.
Yes.
Sir.
Yeah.
We here.
Yep. And living Black history, Melvin Cookin Jones in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So look, and to our folks that's watching live, we want to know how you would feel if your children decided to marry or date someone in another race. I also want to ask this question to the audience. Also, make sure you hit us in the comments. You know, are you willing to, or have you ever dated outside of your race, and how was that experience? So hit us in the comments. You know, the conversation never stops. It goes on, even through social media. So now, Melvin Cookin Jones.
Yes,
look,
sir.
He hadn't always been reverend.
Absolutely,
right?
for sure. And for real.
Yeah, for real,
Where
right?
you get the cooking from? Not cooking in the kitchen.
In
right?
St. Louis, when I got in radio interning at KXLW in St. Louis, when you talk real fast, back in the day, this was the late 60s, they would say, "Hey, man, you cooking." You cooking. And so I talk real fast. So cooking.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
They say I talk fast. But
Yeah.
I'm
So you cooking, yeah.
They might
You
think I'm
cooking.
cooking in the kitchen.
You
I ain't
talk
got
fast
time
for
for
a
that.
different
And so when I came here on radio at WLOK in 1975, we had a teenage reporter. We had teenage reporters from about 15 different schools.
Right.
We had a teenage reporter from Hamilton High School who is Judge Jane Chandler now.
Wow. And she's a fellow cancer. Shout out to Judge Jane.
And
Chandler.
she was on my show in the afternoons with the Hamilton High School report.
Love
and
it.
she the one started that cooking. And then she was like, good looking, Melvin cooking. And it just blew up, man.
it
Blew
man.
up.
So that's where that
Thank you, Judge Jane Chandler.
Yeah,
that's where it
Judge
came
Jane
from.
Chandler. Good people too, man.
Yeah, she a whole
Now,
family.
you talk about straightforward.
Yeah,
Now you
whole
gonna get the
family.
uncut version from
Yeah.
Jane Chandler, man. She ain't gonna mince no words. with
Yes,
you.
indeed.
Right.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But good
Good
people.
question.
So how long in radio? How long have you been doing this?
Since 1968.
I was born in 68.
Yeah,
Okay,
wow.
1968.
Yeah, 1968.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
long time to be in this to survive.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yes.
You know, because you know the
Never was unemployed.
Wow.
I've been fired 2 or 3 times and got a call the same day or the next day to go to another city for another job.
See?
Yo, you were in demand, but I
Yeah,
gotta ask,
yes.
man, why'd you get fired, man? Come on. Now I want to know.
Well, I lived a rock and roll lifestyle.
Right.
You know,
Give us the uncover. This ain't your life now. So
I lived a rock and roll lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
You know, ain't no cap.
Right. No cap.
I did what I did, and I enjoyed what I did
Right.
while I was doing
what you were doing. Right.
And so a lot of radio stations wanted to control the DJs.
Yeah.
They didn't want you to make extra money, but I was making more money in the streets than I was making at the radio station.
I got
They
you,
didn't want you to promote shows.
Right,
They didn't want you to have a personal relationship with the artist.
Or the community.
Community, other record company personnel, the owners and stuff. And I did. I had a relationship with people at Stax and every city I worked in. And so that was one reason. Yeah.
I completely understand. Yeah. You know, a lot of my reporter friends, I always tell them too, you know, you have to make yourself immovable. You have to you have to sew the streets up.
Absolutely.
Seriously, right?
Yeah. So radio, even though the pay was good, but it's a vehicle to open up other streams of revenue and other opportunities for you.
Right.
See, a lot of folks don't know. I got 4 or 5 songs that I got credit for writing.
Publishing on.
Yeah.
Oh, you got that publishing. You got the publishing checks coming. Right.
They call royalties.
Yeah. My brother and I, the late great Bob Jones from WVON Radio in Chicago, that was my brother.
Wow.
We were songwriters together.
Really?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Man. That is awesome. And another great that you were very, very close to, Bobby OJ.
First cousin.
Cousin.
Grew up together. Yeah.
So tell us, man, how did it come about that both of y'all ended up in radio?
Well, I got in radio first before my brother Bob. My brother Bob was second.
Right.
He came in 71, and OJ came in 72.
Okay. Yeah, but how did that come about, man? You got to
I went to Milwaukee. I was in Chattanooga, WNOO in Chattanooga, and I got a job in Milwaukee in 71 at WAWA AM and FM in St. Louis.
You still remember all the calls,
in Milwaukee. And Bobby had finished high school at Batesville, Mississippi, and he had a brother and sister in Milwaukee. He had moved there, and he was in broadcasting school. And he came on to the house. When I got there the next week, said, "I want you to listen to my tape." I said, "Oh man, how can I tell this? How can I tell my cousin, man? You know, you need to stay in school. You need to get you a job at the foundry or the factory. You need to go to the army or something." I said, "Well, let me see what you got." He put that tape on. He was ready for radio.
Wow.
And he hadn't been in broadcasting school for but 2 or 3 months.
Wow.
I said, man,
so that
Bobby
was his
OJ.
purpose.
Yeah, J.J. Jones was his name.
Ain't that something, man?
Yeah, we got him a job down in Montgomery, Alabama, WRMA. He went down there as J.J. Jones.
J.J. Jones.
And then about 9 months later, he called me. He said, "I'm coming back to Milwaukee. The state's across the street, WNOV.
Across the street from you?
The other states, the other big black state." I said, "Well, you know, you can't come up here with that J.J. Jones. They ain't slick enough." I said, "We need another name for you."
Right.
And so he said, "Man, what?" I said, "You know, OJ is a big name in Milwaukee because Eddie OJ, who managed the OJs out of Cleveland, who was then in New York at WRL radio station." And I said, "You know, let me put some names down. You pick the one that you want." So I put like Jimmy OJ, because that OJ name was big in Milwaukee.
Well,
because Eddie OJ was from Milwaukee.
He did the brand.
Bobby OJ, he said, "I like that one. I like that one." He has a brother named Bobby. His real name is Bobby. So he said, "I like that, Bobby OJ." I said, "Well, that's who you are."
That's who you are. Damn, and he took on the whole persona, right?
Bobby OJ.
Bobby OJ.
He, not just because his family, but he and my brother Bob Jones and a guy out of California, Jay Michaels, are the best sounding young jocks I'd ever heard. Because my brother was 18 and OJ was just 17.
Right.
Wow.
Because my brother came to stay with me when he finished high school out of Batesville, Mississippi in Chattanooga. I put him in school over in Chattanooga. I come back to the station one day. I heard somebody in the production room. I asked the secretary, I said, "Who was that in the production room sounding so good?" She said, "That's your little brother."
Wow.
So I put him on there the next day.
Wow. Oh, man. That's incredible, man. Man, but so how, you know, y'all jump in here now. 'Cause I don't want to take the whole interview. And you know, Kojak worked in radio too, but how important is that mentorship, though, Melvin? That meant you were meant. You changed generations.
But that's who I am.
Lives.
I figured that out really. My purpose in life was to put other people on, and I've always tried to promote others. C.J. Morgan, Johnny
When I first got
Walker.
to Memphis, Johnny Walker.
I gave her first job in the city.
Right.
She was out of Grenada, Mississippi.
That's
C.J.
right.
Morgan was over at University of Memphis, and he's one of the best morning jocks ever.
Yeah, man.
In Memphis and New Orleans.
Who was? I don't remember who his co-host was. He had a female co-host too. On when he was C.J. Morgan and when he was doing the morning. I had just got to Memphis at that time, but you don't have to try.
Sherry Miller
Sherry
Miller.
Wow.
She
was also a judge. Judge Sherry Miller.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing of what you said, is a lot of the people that you talked about are family.
Yeah.
I think a lot of time with talent, people that in your family don't recognize their talent or give an opportunity for talent, correct?
Yeah.
So I think that's commendable because they think you're just a regular old whatever. That's just Parkinson. That's just whatever. But no, you saw it and you invested and you're willing to do that. So I think that's profound right there because a lot of people, talent is right.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. But my father was a family guy. And he said if you find somebody in your family that's, that want it, reach back and help them.
Keyword wanted. You can't make them want it. Sometimes we want it more than they do.
So that was my father's influence.
That
was my father's influence.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The
story about the Mustang.
It's the wife for me. It's the wife for me.
Yeah. But before Milwaukee, I had went to Batesville where Bobby O.J. was still in high school.
Okay.
And went down and had a brand new Mustang with a telephone in it.
With a telephone?
Yeah. This was 1969.
Balling.
And he said, "What you do?"
That's what Bobby O.J. said?
Yeah. He said, "What you do? What you do for a living, cuz?" I said, "I talk on the radio." He said, "That's what I want to do."
So that was it.
Yeah.
But real talk, how many lives do you think, or just a guesstimate, you think you've had a major influence on?
I really don't know. I don't know.
How many names?
Wow.
The big names.
Captain Curtis Lee.
Captain Curtis Lee.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
BBBD Banana.
Okay.
Mr. B. Bernard Miller.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. What about recording artists?
Recording artists?
Yeah. That
wow.
you helped to break. That you know.
Wow, that's too many to count.
Yeah.
Peebo Bryson is one.
Peebo Bryson.
We went and got Peebo. Got it in Memphis named Bowlegs Miller.
Peebo Bryson.
A session musician. He was a writer and a producer, arranger. He wrote Trapped by a Thing Called Love.
Oh, yeah.
And produced it for Denise LaSalle. He had this album by a guy named Peebo Bryson.
Right.
And he was an independent promotions person. He kept saying, "Man, this guy's good. This guy's good."
Right.
So we went to Atlanta. I went to Atlanta with him that weekend. One weekend, and met Peebo, met his manager and the record company people, Bang Records, Keith Fry, and we brought the record back and started playing it in Memphis. They weren't even playing it in Atlanta, and he broke out.
Ain't that something?
And I brought him to the Paradise.
Club Paradise.
I had 1,800 folks in there.
Wow.
It was all my show. I left out of there with a bag of money.
That's what I'm talking about. Look, secure the bag, baby.
But I was crazy. I was broke that Monday.
Someday, I'm glad you be honest. Okay, you gotta keep
That is hilarious.
But it wouldn't be like that now.
No, right. I know that's right, man. I know that right.
But another record that had to think. Electric Slide, Marcia Griffin. That record had been out 6 or 7 years before it broke.
Right, that same thing happened with Trigger Man.
And we broke that record right here in Memphis, Tennessee.
Wow.
A guy named Ruben Rodriguez out of New York.
Right.
Ruben Rodriguez was with Polygram Polydor. And that record broke right out of Memphis, Tennessee. Sold 15,000, 20,000 copies.
Wow.
then New Orleans, and they started doing the line dance.
Right,
The
right.
electric slide.
Yeah.
And that was a
yeah.
record that Bowlegs had found.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Bowlegs
Wow.
Miller. He passed back in the 90s, but he's a great record guy, record man in Memphis, Tennessee.
Man, you know what, man? You remember Bowling? Man, and that's what I loved about the promotions game back in the day, man. You know, T.C. Tompkins and all them
TC,
folks.
good.
Shout
man.
out T.C.
T.C. Tompkins.
All the old
He
heads.
hired me.
Did he?
I got fired at Magic 101, which is V101.
Right, yeah.
I got fired at V101 in April of '89. He called me that afternoon and put me on payroll with the New Jack Swing.
Oh,
So I
man,
worked with he was working with Gene Griffin and Teddy Riley.
Yeah.
Gene Griffin was Teddy's stepfather.
Yeah.
And so I worked with them until November, till I went up to WOWIWBSK in Norfolk. So all of 89, from April to November, I worked with Teddy Riley and T.C. Tompkins.
Yeah.
He hired me.
T.T., man. T.T. good brother, man.
Yeah.
Down in Houston now. Yeah. Good
Put me
brother.
on. We been out to his house. He
Yeah,
live in
yeah.
Sugar Land.
I'm Sugar Land. Yep,
Put me on
yep.
payroll, $1,000 a week, and $500 a week expense money.
Man, TC
That's
know how to
$1,500 a
nowadays.
week in 1989. Yeah.
Hey, and look, hey, real talk. You know, when I had the
Do what you
ruins,
love.
when we had the Throw It Up single, TC was working that record.
Yeah.
Yeah, TC was working. TC, man, knew how to get to them record pools and knew how to get to them folks, man.
Yes, sir.
Serves that vinyl, man.
And he was doing computers, man, and and social media back in the '90s, man. With MySpace, what?
Right, my
take it back.
MySpace.
MySpace.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
doing
yeah.
that then.
Yep. Yeah, man. There's some good people, man. That's the beauty, though, man, of because people don't realize the black music industry is not that big. Right, the people, the players, you build relationships, and them relationships last forever, man.
For sure.
Because it's a small family, man. You know, if you go to any of the conferences back in the day, the radio, the programming conferences, it's like a family reunion. We're all friends and family. Am I right?
Right,
yeah, man.
right.
Yeah. So look, we're going to talk about. I got to get into this when we come back. We got to talk about when we were working, we formed a label together, right? He's laughing. Already, right? And look, hey,
Let me get my
Melvin
chair.
Cookin Jones was in your position because he kept the peace, right? But we're gonna talk about that. It's the Antonio Parkinson Project. We'll be right back.
Grab a backwood and roll up. Grab your cup and let pour up. They didn't want us round it first, but now they act like they know what. Hey, but they show love, yeah, we show out when we show up. I don't even do the liquor, that shit might make me throw up. But we turned up, this the after party. Shit grabbing on my body. White girl got a bottle in the club, and that going gnarly. Turned up in a wreck the party. We just brought out everybody. No, we got our have some fun. We at the after party.
Yeah, what's good? This is Carlos 6 July Brody, and you're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. I am Antonio Parkinson. I got my wonderful co-host Angelica Jelly Woods in the building.
I'm learning all kind of knowledge in here. I'm just gonna take my little notes because I don't know nothing they talking about. But I'm learning. So I'm in class tonight. I'm in class tonight.
Right. But hey, you're around royalty though. Real talk, seriously. And DJ Kojak in the building, back from Sick Leave with the Snipper.
Lies, garbage, and lies.
Feeling good, man. I'm feeling good.
I bet.
We got greatness in the house.
Building. Yeah, yes, indeed, man. And DJ Kojak, this got to be really, really special for you because you've worked in radio for years.
I did. And I feel what he said. Because when I was at Hot, KHXC, I could throw it.
Tell me.
When I was at Hot, the whole thing with the radio station is you're not bigger than the station.
Right.
So when you do try to do some things outside, it's almost shunned upon, or they look at you like, man, who you think you is now?
Right.
I was doing live broadcasts from the neighborhoods and stuff, and they was like, we don't want you doing this.
Like that.
So and then money is okay, but it's not, it's not that much the way
But Kojak,
you need to do that outside.
But Kojak, let me ask you this though. What's interesting though is I'm in marketing, right? Black Market Strategies, y'all. Yeah, blackmarketstrategies.com, shameless plug. But look, but you would think that an entity like the radio stations would push you to be big in the community because it brings more listeners, which brings more people to their advertisers. You would think that that's the
But it's by control.
Right.
So they want to control you. And if they think you are big enough to be independent, they can't control you.
Yeah.
So that's why they micromanage.
And that's sad though. That's a to me that's a backwards ass mentality.
It is.
You know, because the more I can build you, the more it builds me.
Absolutely.
But do you think it's that way now?
It is that way now.
Yes.
With most jobs, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
The
but-
fire department was like that with us.
It's worse now with corporate ownership. It's worse now.
Yeah.
Speak. It's worse now because you could get an individual owner. They it was a guy that the Chess Record people owned WVON in Chicago for years, and those jocks in Chicago, they were like bigger than life because most of them owned nightclubs on the side. They were promoters. Everything came into Chicago. A DJ had his hands in it, making some of that money. You know. But so you had individual owners, but now with the corporate owners. Everything, even the music you play, because that used to be a source of revenue too. Music, but now it comes through corporate. It comes through corporate because you I had Al Green. I had Al Green in Chattanooga. I had Al Green in Chattanooga when he first hit.
Wow.
Blew up big. He already had Back Out Train, but when he did the big record,
which one?
I'm so tired of being alone. Thank you. I had it for $1,500.
Wow. Wow.
And I got that kind of deal because I was on there.
Right.
Because he was at that time he was going for $7,000.
Right. And that's back then.
And that was back then.
And that was some money back then.
But Al got up to over 100,000 back in the 70s.
Back
a
in
night.
the 70s.
Yeah. He was big. Yeah.
Man,
but I had him for $1,500. And that's because of the connection with the artist and the relationships you had,
Playing that record.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
And so
but not mess with that. That's where the power was.
Yeah.
But that's when humans were able to make a decision on breaking records.
Absolutely.
And jocks were able to make. And then they went to corporate. They went to research. And it's a mess now. It's
most of the records in individual cities come from another city.
Ain't that
The
something?
national program director, the national music director in Chicago or LA or New York decides what they're going to play in Memphis or New Orleans or Little Rock or whatever.
Yeah, and that's sad too, man.
That's sad.
And that is sad. And I even and you think about it, syndicated radio, even the morning shows, you lost all your local feel. When you remove the local, jocks and personality.
That's control.
Yeah.
Because they can get the syndicated show, just turn it on.
Yeah.
And then they give them 4 or 5 spots in the hour. They don't pay them. They just pay a local person, maybe $35,000, to sit there and run the board.
Yeah.
But they get that syndicated show free because the syndicated show has national reps that sell the time.
Okay. Yeah.
And they get their money that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's but the folks, the local folks, radio used to be local, man. Radio used to be, you know what's going on, if there's something happening, emergency or anything, man. But now it's gone.
Nobody's there. It's mostly tape, what they call voice track.
That's crazy.
Nobody's there except a few stations got live morning shows.
Right.
Other than that, it's voice track.
Wow.
They can get 50 inches of snow, and there's nobody to tell you.
Right.
So that's like here in Breakfast Club. They took over. Yeah.
Ricky Smiley.
Ricky Smiley,
D.L.
Steve
Hughley.
Harvey, D.L.
These be
Hughley,
shows,
all
yeah.
of that.
Yeah. And there's some good. They have good shows.
Right.
But still, it doesn't feel as good as being able to hear your name called.
Right.
On the radio or at night on the night flight. When back in the day, they play the slow music.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And, you get to call in and say your girlfriend name. And stuff like that,
Absolutely.
right?
And then
You banked on that, didn't
with
you? You banked on
community. When we had a representative, state representative, Antonio Parkinson, could call in, when it was not election season and something happening in the community, we could put you on the air.
Yeah.
Right there.
Just plug them like that.
Yeah.
Plug them. We ain't calling
And you
nobody.
got something going on, you got a town hall meeting or something, it was no big thing.
Yeah.
But now you got to buy advertising and all of that.
Yeah.
But I tell you though, while even in those changes, there's always opportunity, right?
Right.
You know, because we remember when they were going to CD and the whole paradigm was shifting, but it opened up so much opportunity for independent, for you to do what we're doing now, right? And with no control, because we out of control over here at the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Turn up.
Completely out of control. Ain't nobody tell us nothing. Right?
Right.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that freedom though. Yeah, seriously.
Right.
But what? Look. So we got to talk about it. We back a few years back. You know, we had a joint venture. You know, going on
in the club.
Club, Stugs, Sex and Drugs. Right, that was the name of the CD. Club, Stugs, Sex and Drugs.
That was actually a good name for a rap project.
Yeah,
that really was.
But it was, you know, my brother Drag. Shout out to Drag. He's in Kansas City now. He came up with that hook on the song, right? And the song was banging, right? Club Stugs. He said, "We in the club with thugs, sex and drugs." Yeah, that's how that hook went, and that was the name of the project. But you know, good project too. But yeah, you know, so as it happened, right? You know, there were promises made on the front end, right? And it just didn't pan out quite as.
That's the music business. That's the music business.
And look, hey, Kojak. So you remember Ray and Suave? You know,
crew.
Yeah. And you know, at Drag and we had Kenny Kane and Zulu and everybody coming through and you know, we're in Peace Move and you know, and we were in the studio putting the record together and the record got done and then we're looking for the money. Where the money at? hey Melvin, when are you gonna bring the money, Melvin?
Did you give it to him?
No, they wanted to get loose. No, I wasn't controlling the money. I was the middleman. Right. I got caught in the middle.
The middleman in the worst position.
I got caught in the middle.
And you looking back on it, man, you know, it was so funny because Melvin be like, "Man, this is stressing me out, man. It's stressing me out." Cause look, I'm holding my guys back, right? Because they want it to be street, right? Yeah. They're like, because I'm trying, because they blaming me, right? They blaming me, and I'm like, bruh, it's not me, you know, it's.
Don't call no name.
Don't call no name, right.
Call him up.
Look, and I'm surprised Angelica ain't saying, say it.
I already said I don't want to know. Call their name.
But you know, and look, and so that money never materialized, right? And so, you know, it was just one of them things. But that's when, you know, we got to deal with RCA. You know, and we ended up at RCA Records and you know what was Rough House Records and you know and from that split. And so anyway, long story short, we in New York. Philadelphia.
It worked out.
It worked. Everything always worked out. Yeah. And me and the other partner, we're friends to this day. You know, and let me tell you something. This is something that God revealed to me. You know, about things like this, right?
Right.
When you're in them hardships at that moment, right? You ask yourself this, and this I hope everybody gets this.
Okay.
You ask yourself this. In 3 years, am I going to be telling this story and laughing about it?
Okay.
Right?
Well,
and if the answer is yes, then laugh about it now.
Wow. Oh, that's
Come on, that's a sermon right there.
I like that.
Preach it.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that.
Because think about it, right? Think about it. If God will allow you to heal and laugh 3 years while I'm telling the story, I wasn't laughing back then.
Right.
But if I'd have known this now, I'd have been like, oh, no, I'm going to be laughing about this 3 years from now. So, because it's comical. Yeah.
Right.
When you think about it, it was characters involved in this story, right? And they were being themselves. The characters were being characters. And now you talk about, you know, we never got the money. That's the bottom line.
Right.
We never got the money, right? But everything worked out. Yeah, man.
Yeah. That was an ordeal. That was an experience.
Right.
Was the person from Memphis?
Yes.
Oh, no.
That sounds like
no
Memphis.
name.
Yeah, I'm gonna get down to it.
We ain't going to throw no names.
What his name start with?
No.
I don't know who it is.
But you know, everybody in the music business, everybody. Only person I've ever known to not get screwed in the music business is Prince when he first came in. Because his project was already done. He had over 100 songs already ready. And Warner Brothers treated him right, and because they didn't have to do anything. Yeah.
But he got mad at him though.
Yeah, because he was, he wanted just to be independent, and he did the right thing when he walked away.
Yeah. Did he own his masters?
Yeah.
He owned his masters. And that's the key, right?
Yeah.
Own the masters.
He's from the Midwest. He's from Minnesota, right?
Minneapolis. Yeah.
Midwest. Shout out to the Midwest.
Right. Yeah, man. So, Rev, let's talk about now.
Yes, sir.
You got how many years with the lovely?
I got
look
33
at her.
years
She's
with
so
her.
beautiful. Look, she's so beautiful.
She banging. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
she banging.
we got 20 years in ministry together.
Wow.
Yeah, she didn't really. I was with Capital Records. I was, I ministered when I was with Capital.
Right.
Didn't too many people know it.
Right.
Except they knew me.
Yeah.
And I said, well, baby, I'm ready to walk away.
Right.
She said, let's do it. I said, now they lie on preachers, but how many preachers in Memphis, Tennessee with Bentleys?
Yeah.
They see 2 or 3 on TV.
Right.
Yeah.
But most preachers just making it from Sunday to Sunday.
Right.
Let's be honest and be real.
Yeah.
And so here I'm doing real money at Capitol Records.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, now I'm gonna have to take a pay cut. And she said, we need to do ministry.
Man,
and let's walk.
The calling, right?
And then right during that time, I got an offer to put a gospel station on in Chicago, WGCI FM's AM, WGCI AM went gospel, which was the old VON.
Yeah.
And that came at the same time. And I said, no, we're gonna do church. We're gonna do church in Memphis. And so we stepped, and she stepped, and she really was passionate and supported me. Yeah, and so let's do it. Yeah,
you built that thing too, man. The guy built it.
It was God. It was a God thing.
But that's all. But you know what? I tell people, look, the best pastors are the ones that used to cut up back in the day.
You can tell the story. Because we got a real testimony.
You got to be relatable.
And then you know what? Then you can see game. So a lot of pastors mean well, but when you in that position, you've never been accustomed to women coming at you. You never been accustomed to little money. You never been accustomed to being in the spotlight, so to speak. That's a hard temptation to say no to. But if you've been there, and you can see that game materializing before it happens.
Right.
Right.
Bang. I think even to add to that, it's just even when you're in ministry, you have a ministry, but when you're a pastor, people think that you've never been through nothing. They think that you've been perfect. And God has to make you imperfect to make you be able to make your ministry relatable.
Absolutely.
Because they think you're like exempt.
Yeah, no, you're not.
And then they say like, okay, you don't understand what it's like to have a drug habit. Be like, no, I used to be on heroin. Like I know. You don't know, no, I used to be a pimp. And that makes you relatable right there, because if you didn't do those things, they would think they were below and they wasn't worthy of it. So I think that's what's important. I think you have to do that to show other people you are worthy. If I'm worthy, you can be worthy.
Amen.
Yeah, that example, man. That example matters, right?
And I'm very transparent.
Yeah.
Because it's a part of my testimony.
Right.
It's a part of who I am.
Yeah.
So I don't hold back anything.
Yeah. I'm the same way with in the position as state representative, man. And and as a matter of fact, it's so funny you say that, Angelica, because I remember when I used to think that, telling my story about being arrested at 14 for, because I was going to shoot some folks, right? I used to think that story would be a detriment to me politically, right? When I first started, right? And the Lord was like, no, that's your story. I tell people
that's your story.
Your goal.
That's it.
You survived it for a reason, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they need to hear it. They need to hear it.
Yeah.
What's the point of it being vain? Like, what is the whole point?
Yeah. Why did I bring you through it if you ain't gonna tell it?
Because the glory goes to God.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the glory goes to Him.
Yeah.
And you always have those people who will use it against you. You just have to ignore them. As long as it helps somebody, please. I'm an open book. I don't care. I'm gonna tell you everything because I don't want it to be in vain. So if it can help you, I'm gonna tell you everything. And of course, like I said, some people gonna hold it against you.
Anyway.
XYZ, put it in your face.
They sure
That's
will.
fine. Like you said, as long as God get the glory. So
I'm glad you open like that, Angelica.
Yeah.
I am. I'll tell you
You
everything.
can tell the pastor about when you was when you stalked the folks down in the snow and because
I did.
I'm just kidding.
I used to be. I'm for real, crazy. And will. And I would tell
Angelica
you.
got the funniest stories, right? Her stories, man, are incredibly.
I'll tell you about
Can she
it.
come on? Can she? My wife, come on, come on,
Come on up here.
baby.
Come on up here. Yeah.
I got sunshine
Look at
Okay.
on a cloudy day.
See that game ain't get old. You see that? Walk outside. I don't know.
Come on
I
up
don't
here.
put up the egg.
Right. Yeah.
He excited. And y'all see how gorgeous she is.
She is
Y'all
absolutely
better.
gorgeous. Come on, man. Look at her.
Listen, thank you.
Man, look, and that ain't no fake happiness right there.
Yeah,
That's some
it's
real.
You can tell, Will.
Yeah,
Not
that
no
is
social
awesome.
media. Relationship goals, social media. This
I know
real
she
life.
got something to add to the story.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
I know you
Come
got
on.
some.
Come on, Linda.
Give
Come on.
us one of them good
I'm
ones.
gonna add something to this.
Come on, step up to the mic.
One of them good.
Come close to the mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we started the
Now
church.
step up to the mic because
We started the church and we started on a budget. We probably did everything wrong, but God blessed us.
right.
And so at the time that we started the church, our first building was on Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. And Melvin was working with art, at the radio station, doing the record, the music thing.
So we
Down the street.
we wasn't gonna call no names, but go ahead.
So we were trying to build this church. And then Melvin came home and told me about this song that he had to promote in the club with sex and drugs.
Right.
I said, baby, I don't think the Lord would, that's kind of, in opposition to the work we doing trying to build this church.
That don't match. That wasn't matching.
And so,
Wasn't
and I was
matching.
paying him a decent, I think Art probably paid Melvin more than he ever paid anybody.
And
I was paying him
and
a decent
that's
salary.
saying something.
That's saying something.
That's
But Melvin went in, he went in and he resigned.
I remember.
Because the charge was more important than the change at the station, right?
Right.
And so he went in and resigned. And the Lord has always taken care of us. I mean, we went from 80 to 20 members in a short period of time, and the Lord showed us that, and we were afraid that we wouldn't be able to pay the bills and on and on. But the house never stopped. What was coming in with the 80 came in with the 20.
Come on.
And God let us know that whenever God tells you to do something, do it. If God says do it, know that God's got you, and it's not based on your math. Based on your math.
I said this. I said 1 + 1 with Jesus don't equal 2.
There you go.
So his math is different. His math is different math. Okay.
You know what?
1 + 1 = 2,000 over Jesus. Okay. So hello.
And you know what, too,
Yes.
First Lady, and I remember when all that was happening, right? Because all of that other the story we just told was happening at the same time, right? But here's what was, and I hope people get this. All of you that are watching,
They don't miss it.
when you are operating in your purpose, everything lays out. You don't have to look for it because you're in your frequency space. You are in your space where it is. That's where your stuff is.
Absolutely.
But you got to get in your space though, where you're supposed to be, not in somebody else's space.
Right.
In your space.
You don't have to use a gimmick when you are authentic.
Come on. That's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt.
Give us
That's a
some burger
t-shirt.
service.
Right. Yeah, man. That is awesome. That is awesome. So since we got both of y'all here, what I think we're a bit over the segment, like we all
Somebody
like.
said Angelica about to run around the building.
Right.
And Will.
Right.
You want me to?
But you know what? Before we get out here, what do you think is the most important thing that people need to know right now in this time? Because we're in a different space.
Oh, Jesus.
We're in and I'm not just talking about locally. I'm talking about globally. We're in a different. It's a different time, a different space.
Recovering.
Yeah.
And I know that's open ended, but
That's a lot.
I would say pay attention.
I like that.
What's happening now is not happening in a vacuum. And we're seeing things we've never seen before. You know, I mean, we see in the L.A. falling over the edge of a mountain. And, the fires that's happening and just wars everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you read the word lets us know that there will come a time when these things would happen.
Yeah.
And so we need to recognize what really is important in life. And hopefully all of us will come to the conclusion that that God is what's most important. It's not about my political party. It's not about the genders. It's not about who's trans, who's the I, we, me, they, whatever it is. But what's most important is God, and that we get to know God. I believe that the signs are there.
Pay attention to the times.
We need to pay attention. We really do. We got a lot of distraction, and we can get caught up in the rhetoric. But understand that ain't nothing. But we got this artificial intelligence that's about to up the game even worse.
Right. AI.
That's some dangerous
I do be
stuff.
using it. So I'm sorry.
Somebody can put the words in your mouth, Antonio, while you're running for an office. Put them out in and do something with you, and the words coming out of your mouth like it's you talking,
right?
And it's not you.
And it's not even me.
Right? Absolutely. That's some dangerous stuff.
Yeah. We're working on legislation about that right now. As a matter of fact, what you got, Red?
Serve everybody.
Come on, man. That's
serve everybody.
Man, give, right?
But keep your personal space. Keep your personal space small. Keep your inner circle small. But be open to serve everybody that's in your space and your sphere of influence. Young, old, black or white, gay, straight, whomever. Be open to serve them and help them when you can. But keep your inner circle. Keep it small.
There you go. There you go. Hey, I think we're going to end right there on that, man. Hey, look, you have been listening to Living Black History right here on the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Excellence.
Yeah,
Black
Angelica,
excellence.
you want to say anything before we close out?
There's a lot I have to say. It's not going to fit into this time frame, but I'm impressed. That's all I have to say. And thank you for answering the call. A lot of things is it's attached. A lot of people don't understand. I was telling my friend this the other day. A lot of things that need to be done is attached to your obedience. So a lot of people miss that. So thank you for being obedient. That's all I have to say.
And she's a PK. She's a preacher's kid.
I'm definitely a PK.
Right.
My dad a real pastor though. He lived. Well, he outside. He inside.
Okay.
And I'm sorry. This is my edge breath, y'all. They're not a sponsor. I'm sorry. Let me put it down.
Right. She's about to jug the guests. Man, put your weapon down.
When he is at home, he is on the inside, and a lot of people can't say that. So I am a PK.
Yeah, Kojak, you got anything you want to?
Man, I just enjoyed this episode, man.
Yeah.
And we're going to play this over and over and over again. Y'all need to run these numbers up on this one.
Yeah.
And your energy is real. Your energy and vibes came with you. Your spirit does not lie.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Deacon Rico who made it happen. Yeah. Rico, man, my man. Hey, shout out to Nichelle. Nichelle been holding it down. Nichelle, hold on.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Look, she thought she got away. So listen, last episode, Nichelle brought us these European cookies.
Why you gotta call them European?
Right, they're European. I gotta put these on the camera. Where the camera at? Let me put that on your shot.
I'll put it on my shot.
Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. Yeah. So nobody touched the cookies, right? And I was telling Nichelle. These are not the cookies you bring to the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Italian cookies.
Because these are not our kind of cookies. Right. And so for those of y'all that couldn't see the cookies, those are them dry cookies with the little jelly drop in the middle.
Wow.
Look at First Lady over there. Get that shot.
You said that's a sin. First Lady said that's a sin.
Well, Nichelle, we love you. We thank you for the attempt. But next time, bring us some oatmeal and chocolate chip, though. Look.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nichelle. Give it up for Nichelle, y'all. She held it down. Conte, I know you're watching. Nichelle said, eat your heart out. She said, I've been switching. Right? Yeah, but look, you've been watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been a great show. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe on all social media channels, especially YouTube. We're trying to get them numbers up. We want them subscribers to be great, and they will. We are the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. So you don't want to miss. Make sure you share it. We love y'all. We'll see you on the next episode. It's the Antonio Parkinson Project.
All right.
I gotta stick to the script like some Velcro. These niggas are been fat like an elbow. I'm on my giant Jones, slinging elbow. Mama told me they wasn't gon' change and them and nacho. He was the big bad wolf. To this Teflon, hit the bullets, blow down the house. I slain this with some rhythm. They be saying, nah, people drop they draw for the killer. This won't stop until I put you in the ground full of skinner. Let's go. Never had no friend us. We gon' go and get it turned. Wicked ain't no.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.